Okay, everybody, bear with me. I'm going to do my best to explain the very basics of land management. So in this example here, this is forest back here. That's the woods, areas that are not logged. Everything in here is part of the cut block. This is the road accessing the block. This here is your cache. You've got a P.R.T. box full of trees. You've got your little tarp on it with some rocks to weigh it down. This dotted line here is a boundary of your piece. Another planter in the not your piece land has claimed this is theirs. The way they've claimed that is they've planted and flagged a line in. So that means as they've gone in here, they've got little trees, and then they've also taken some flag and hung it or tied it, if they're polite, onto little bushes and stuff to denote that this land is the stuff that you're going to work and this land is the stuff that you're going to stay out of. The goal when you're working your piece is to avoid what's called pinching. Pinching is when you cannot plant your way to anywhere in your piece without having to walk over planted trees. The goal of good land management, The goal of good land management is to avoid pinching your piece so that you maximize the amount of money you make. The time spent walking over trees is time spent not planting, and time spent not planting you are not being paid for, so you want to minimize that. If you plan your land management and your bag ups properly, you're never going to be moving without planting. That means that you're going to be planting as you go into your land in the back, and then planting as you come out of your land as well. We'll talk a little bit about that and run through some examples, but you should bag up at your cache and you should plant a line in following the existing line. Then when you get back here, you're going to start filling the land furthest from your cache. That's the first rule you want to follow, is always plant the land furthest from your cache first. The second rule is you should always be following something. In this case, you're following another line of trees here that have been planted. Back here, you're following the bush line. And then when you get to here, you're going to turn on your line and you'll be following your own line back, like this. Now you hit your line here, you're going to turn again. I should explain what turning is. Turning is when you change directions, when you do a 180 and go back the way you came from. Again, always following a line. And then this time you go over here a little further. And you get back to here and oh crap, you're running out of trees. So what you could do is you could continue to plant until you're out of trees, and many people do that when they start, but then you'd end somewhere over here and you'd have to do what's called dead walking. So that's walking back to the cache and getting more trees. Now you didn't get paid for any of that, which sucks. What you want to do instead is called lining back to the cache. So you'll get to here, and instead of working your back line, this is your back line, by the way, the line perpendicular to the line to and from the cache, and it could curve, it would still be called the back line, but you're gonna go along this line, your in line, back to your cache and get more trees. You've never stopped planting the entire time here. When you have more trees, you're gonna bag up again. You're gonna go along your in line and start working your piece again. So on and so forth till you run out of trees, go back, get more, and then you'll finish. The whole time doing that, you've never had to walk without planting trees. You've been planting your way to the back, across, and then out to the front again. That's the ideal circumstance.